So what if I told you that the number one pick in the NFL draft almost never happened? That behind the scenes, a father was pulling every string, talking to lawyers, and even considering breaking the system, all to protect his son from one team, the Chicago Bears. In a league where every quarterback dreams of going first overall, Caleb Williams' father was trying to stop it. Why? Because he believed Chicago was where quarterbacks go to die. This is not fiction. It's the true behind-the-curtain story of how Carl Williams tried to blow up the 2024 NFL Draft, all to save his son. In Seth Wickersham's explosive new book, American Kings, a biography of the quarterback set to release this September, we get a rare glimpse into the emotional and high-stakes journey of Caleb Williams and his family as they navigated the pressure cooker that is the NFL Draft. And at the center of it all is Carl Williams, Caleb's father, who was determined to do whatever it took to stop his son from being drafted by a franchise he saw as a death sentence for quarterbacks. Chicago is the place quarterbacks go to die. That chilling statement wasn't from a rival coach or a frustrated fan. It came from Carl Williams himself. He wasn't just venting, he meant business. Wickersham reveals that Carl went to great lengths to try and circumvent the entire draft system. He wasn't just complaining, he was strategizing, consulting with lawyers, considering alternative leagues, and studying every loophole in the NFL's collective bargaining agreement. One of those radical options? Caleb would skip the NFL entirely and sign with the United Football League instead. At the heart of Carl's concern was the Bears' abysmal track record. Before selecting Caleb with the first overall pick, the team hadn't developed a true star quarterback since the 1980s. In the most critical position in football, the Bears had been a black hole, where talent fades and careers stall. Carl didn't want his son becoming the latest victim of that legacy, and Caleb, he wasn't sold either. Behind closed doors, he questioned whether he could thrive under the coaching leadership in Chicago. He had serious doubts about then head coach Matt Eberflus and offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. "Do I want to go there?" he asked those closest to him. "I don't think I can do it with Waldron." As fate would have it, those doubts were justified. Both Eberflus and Waldron were fired during Caleb's rookie season. First, Waldron was replaced by Thomas Brown as offensive coordinator. Then, after a brutal Thanksgiving Day loss, Eberflus was shown the door and Brown stepped in as interim head coach. It was a chaotic year. In January, the Bears tried to reset by hiring Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions as their new offensive leader, but for Caleb and Carl, the damage had already been done. Caleb had his eyes on a different future. He told his father he wanted to play for the Minnesota Vikings. At the NFL Scouting Combine, he and Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell hit it off. There was chemistry, trust, and a vision for success. But Bears general manager Ryan Poles shut that dream down with one cold, unwavering statement: "We're drafting you no matter what." Carl, desperate to change the narrative, reached out to Archie Manning, the same man who once helped maneuver a draft day trade so his son Eli could avoid playing for the San Diego Chargers. Carl hoped to learn how to do the same for Caleb, but it wasn't that simple. The rookie wage cap, collective bargaining agreements, franchise tags, it was all stacked against them. Carl called the rookie wage scale unconstitutional and the worst piece of ST I've ever read. It's the worst in sports history. He wasn't just angry, he was calculating. Carl believed that locking Caleb into one team for up to 8 years with franchise tags could cost him hundreds of millions of dollars in lost market value. He even explored the idea of having Caleb sign with the UFL, play there for one season, and enter the NFL in 2025 as an unrestricted free agent, free to choose his team. But in the end, the system won. Caleb went number 1 overall to the Bears. And what happened next? Caleb's talent shined in flashes, but he was constantly under pressure. Literally, he was sacked a league-high 68 times. The Bears finished with just 5 wins and 12 losses. Despite the chaos, Caleb completed 62.5% of his passes, threw for 20 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. But behind the scenes, it was clear he was on his own. He admitted in the book that he often watched game film alone. No instruction, no guidance. "No one tells me what to watch," he told his dad. "I just turn it on." A franchise quarterback thrown into the storm, trying to make sense of the game without a map. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. This wasn't the dream. This is more than just a football story. It's a story about power, control, and a father's love clashing with a billion-dollar machine. Carl Williams tried to protect his son from a system he believed would break him. He challenged the NFL's rules, its traditions, and even its legality. But in the end, the league held firm, and Caleb was thrown into the fire. What comes next for the young quarterback remains to be seen. Will he rise from the ashes and rewrite the Bears' cursed history, or will Carl Williams' prophecy become reality? Whatever happens, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories from the world of football, and let me know in the comments, was Carl Williams right all along? Or is this just the beginning of Caleb's legendary rise? Stay tuned, because the game off the field is just as wild as the one on it.